Henry! Hey! Call off that mutt of yours!
Mutt! What's all the fuss about, Mutt? Are you that hungry? All right, I'll see what I can get for you.
Well, hoorah! Peace at last. That barking was a pain in the ass.
Listen, would you have some scraps for Mutt?
That's a good one. He already gobbled up a piece of venison while I was having a piss. I've got one last sausage and I'll be saving that for the way back. Look, Henry, I'm fond of that beast, but you ought to keep him under control.
Come on, Oats. We'll get to Trosky tomorrow, and there'll be plenty of food there. We're a noble's escort, so they're obliged to feed us well. Pheasant in wine, roast pork with apples. Those sausages of yours are only fit for a dog anyway.
For Christ's sake, stop giving me a hard time. I'll have you know that sausage is fucking good. But neither you nor your dog will get to taste it.
Wouldn't you swap it for something?
I might. Tankard has my ring. I lost it to him at dice, and if I go home without it, my old woman will send me right back. If you can get it back, I'll be glad to give you that sausage.
Well, I'll see what I can do. Do you know why we're going to Trosky?
For some big political parley.
Yeah, of course. I'm just wondering if you know what's in that message we're carrying.
Not really, but I reckon our lords want to sound out von Burgo. Bear in mind the times we're living in. King Wenceslas under lock and key in Vienna, and his brother Sigismund, meanwhile, shamelessly plundering Bohemia. We need to know who's going to stand on our side if things get even worse. And the royal chamberlain, von Burgo, has the land reserves under his thumb. So he's a big player.
To tell the truth, I'm starting to get a bit anxious about what to expect tomorrow. Do you think our big mission will be successful?
Nothing to worry about. We'll get to Trosky, Sir Hans and von Burgo will parley, and then we'll ride back. Done.
You're a bit sure of yourself, eh?
Well, this ain't my first time delivering a message. Everything will go according to plan. Don't you worry.
We might even discuss how to make peace with Sigismund.
Peace? I don't know. Sigismund is winning and he won't want to parley for peace. But I hope there's some chance of a truce, at least an armistice. The main thing is that it don't get no worse. Hacking up Cumans is one thing, but if it comes to Czechs fighting against Czechs, that'd be nasty.
Do you know these parts?
A little. It's all rocks and woods. Lovely to look at, but shit for hunting in. If you don't watch your step, you could easily fall down some fissure.
So you've been in Trosky before?
Not Trosky itself. Once I just passed through here with Sir Hanusha's escort.
Ah, I expect that's why he sent you with us.
No doubt, but also because I'm not as rash as you youngsters. And besides, as the cook, I make sure you lot don't gobble up all the supplies at once.
How do you like it here?
I'll tell you, it's nothing like home.
And have you ever been further than Rattay?
No, I never was, but I always wanted to. That's why Oats put in a word for me so I could ride along. Besides, for an adventurous expedition like this, you've got to have the right gear and good horses. And I'm in charge of them.
I'm a bit anxious about tomorrow. How about you? Are you worried?
A wee bit. But we've got good intentions. Sir Hans is, responsible. And sensible too, when it comes to important things. And no doubt Lord von Berghoff is a wise man and he'll hear him out with a cool head. Clever folks can always somehow come to an agreement, can't they?
That's right. And also, we're coming with an offer of alliance. I can't imagine what could happen for them not to receive us.
Not much chance of that.
And you take good care of our horses. I can't say they're exactly whinnying with joy.
Don't make fun of me, eh? Whenever they need anything, I take care of it for you. The only thing that bothers me is them cliffs and rocky paths. I hope none of the horses breaks a leg.
Come on, Conrad.
What?
Let's throw a few dice.
For the love of God. How many times do I have to tell you? I ain't playing with you.
Why not?
Because you cheat.
I do not.
Oh? And how come you always win then, eh?
That's an easy one. I always win, 'cause you always lose.
Ha ha. Very droll.
Seriously though, Conrad, my old mate. Roll a few, eh?
No. Henry, better not keep Sir Hans waiting. It'll be dark soon.
Hey, Conrad, one little game.
I see you've got dice set up. Want a game?
Sure. How's about spicing it up with a little wager?
I heard you won a ring off Oats. What about that?
Fortune favours the brave, lad. But if you lose, you'll pay for everything I order in the tavern in Trosky. All right? I hope Lady Luck will be on my side. No, that's as far as I go. My God, I'm done. Can't damn your eyes. You played well. What's to be done? A bet is a bet. Here's your ring. Hey, Conrad, one little game.
How do you think things will end up tomorrow?
How? No ways, I reckon. Whenever someone parleys with someone about something, it takes ages.
Why do you think that?
See me and Conrad now? We can't even agree who's going to be on watch this evening. But then, I'm just a spear carrier. I ain't got the head for no noble manners. Ask Oats. He'll know more about it for sure.
Maybe in the end, Lord Capon and von Berghoff will arrive at some agreement.
Aye, maybe. We'll see.
Have you ever been in these parts before?
No, but I know there's a village called Trosky at the foot of the castle, and there's a tavern there. Me and Conrad will go there and fatten our purses nicely on the locals. I got the dice ready for it. If Sir Hans gives us a bit of free time, like. I must remind him.
Where did you get the table from?
From that cave behind me. It was just lying there. So I says to myself, that's better than playing on the ground.
Watch that tankard. You play dice with him.
Hey, Conrad, one little game, eh?
Leave me alone. I know you only too well. It's all one little game. One little game. And then you go and take my last groschen.
This is boring. Why don't we carry on to the foothill of Trosky? They must have a tavern there. A fellow could have a game there.
Give over, tankard. There'll be time enough for the tavern after we deliver the letter.
It seems Tankard can't tell a 5 from a 6. I won that ring off him.
You beat the bastard. Ha! You're a dab hand, Henry. Thanks. Will you give it to me? If I go home without it, the old woman will break her broom over my back.
What will you give me for it?
Well, all I've got here is some grub. Want a sausage? It's venison.
All right. And enough games. You won't easily find another mug who'll exchange a ring for a sausage.
Yeah. True enough.
Here, Mutt. Look what I have for you.
Fuck it. Tankard! Stop with that! Your whistling is getting on my fucking nerves the whole way. Leave it off this evening at least!
Jesus.
Henry, come here.
Tankard!
Yeah.
Well then, Henry? Henry, what the fuck was that about?
What was what about?
With that captain? I thought they got us all. The way you provoked him.
You're right. I got a bit carried away.
Well, you shouldn't have. We're lucky they didn't shoot us down on the spot. Did you notice how many of them there were? You better keep your nose out of it next time.
I apologise. You're right.
That's all right. I understand how you feel. His tone got on my nerves too. And keep quiet tomorrow in front of von Berghoff. I'm here to do the talking. We'll deliver our message and fulfill our mission. If we arrange a truce with the League of Lords, then Hanush will finally have to take me seriously. Well, since you're so sure of yourself, how about stretching our limbs a bit after that long journey? With a bit of swordplay.
You're in the mood for that after riding so long?
Certainly. So then, eh?
All right then. Just a bit of swordplay for the hell of it? Or shall we have a wager?
Let's save the wagers for later.
Oh, you afraid?
Keep the biting remarks to yourself. I see you're still in armor, so we can get to it right away. Here's a practice sword for you. Have that ready too.
So, should we start?
Ready? Let's start. Draw your sword.
Hang on. This time, I'll take the lead.
I just can't wait.
Let's get warmed up. I'll attack you a few times. You defend.
Go ahead. Impress me. Is that the best you've got? I didn't even work up a sweat.
Oh, you will soon enough. A foe in plate armor has to be worn down.
Let's see it then. Attack properly now. A longer sequence. Enough!
Now you're warmed up, eh?
Yeah. But you're pretty winded yourself. While you're attacking, you still have to take care you have strength left to defend.
Save the advice and try it yourself.
Gladly. On guard. That's the way. Good. Good. Nice. That's the way.
Oh, that's enough. No one's ever won a duel just by blocking. You've got to make an opening to strike back. And you do that by means of a perfect block.
Perfect block, eh? You've become a real swordsman.
Start your attack then.
That's it. Pretty good. Nice. But what about a riposte? Reckon you can manage that?
Why wouldn't I? Nothing to it. I just follow up a perfect block immediately with a strike. I'll show you.
Get ready. Sweet. Good, Henry. My word. You're turning into a real master swordsman.
Be sure to remember, if someone gives you a riposte, you can still fend it off with a perfect block. And it's best to follow up right away with your own riposte.
Yeah, right. But what if I want to attack in such a way that you can't make a perfect block?
Then it's best to attack at a spot where your opponent isn't covered. Where he's not holding his weapon. You defend, and I'll show you how.
All right. Come on then. Nice. Ooh. Nice, Henry. Ooh. I was too slow. Nice. All right. I get it. For Christ's sake. Enough demonstrations and explanations.
Let's have one training duel to finish up, eh?
Indeed. And let's have a wager to spice things up. How about 100 groschen?
To hell with wagers.
Oh, afraid are you? You know how it'll end. But suit yourself. We'll fight without a wager. Let's go. Off to a good start.
What I call swordplay.
Don't hold back.
How do you do it?
Nice block. Oh, nice strike.
Fuck me!
That's what I call swordplay. That hit home.
All square again. Well done.
Right on the head.
All square again. Well done. Weren't expecting that, were you?
Come on,
That one hit
Henry.
the spot. And another.
Nice strike.
That one hit the spot.
Now that's what I call swordplay.
Nice strike. Come on, Henry.
Nice technique.
You won,
Did you see that?
but I held my own. I yield! Enough! Oh, for fuck's sake, you're unstoppable! It's just as well we didn't have a wager on it. Woo! Oh, let's go and eat. I need to sit down for a bit after that exertion.
Go, fellas, go!
So who won, gentlemen?
Well, it's not my day. Drinks in the tavern will be on me, so I hope you'll go easy on me. You've improved since that last time in Ratai.
I won back then too, as I recall. You had to give me your bow.
You were unbelievably lucky, beating me after just one day of training. True, I wasn't in my best form that day. We had a drink or two beforehand.
Oats, what's this food supposed to be?
What's left of our supplies? Tomorrow we'll be at the castle, and we'll get some decent grub.
If you told us earlier, I could have shot a hare. And you could have cooked it like they did in the tavern the day before yesterday.
That tavern where you drank away all your coin?
Ha! You've got to have some fun.
And then you tried it on with the innkeeper's daughter when you were shit-faced.
She was pretty. A real peach. Admit it.
Only a fella was there.
He was well pissed off. If I hadn't convinced him you were the village idiot and that we'd dragged you home right away...
And if I hadn't left him a fistful of coin to boot,
Throwing groschen around like that? Fellas, if a rainy day comes, you'll be fucked.
I've got nothing to regret. The whole world turns around wenches. Ain't that right, Henry?
Hmm?
You never gave us the goods on that lass of yours. What was her name now?
Teresa. She lived with that crook Peshek at the mill.
And she saved my life.
A brave girl.
Aye. She's a fine lass. And? Is she any good? Like, is she any good? Get me?
She's brave. She saved my life when I went back to Scalitz after it was razed to bury my parents, and a bunch of mercenaries attacked me. And that's all I'll say.
You know, this travelling isn't too bad.
Apart from the mosquitoes.
Aye. Apart from them.
Where were you yesterday evening, Henry? You were late for supper. That's not what I call watching over our Lord.
Hey, don't make trouble.
In the camp, with you lot. It was Conrad's turn to gather wood, and I wasn't hungry yet. So I stretched out for a bit by the horses.
Oh, yeah? Where? You didn't see him?
I was going for wood.
It was getting dark. I reckon he just overlooked me.
You gave me a nasty shock when you came out of the darkness. You're as quiet as a mouse, and that's the truth.
And what about, time, sir? I mean, will we be getting any time off, sir?
It depends. Once von Berghoff hears us out, we should set off back home immediately.
What? Straight back on the road?
Well, we could stay a day or two, perhaps.
Does anyone know anything more about von Berghoff?
Only what Sir Hans told us, that von Berghoff is a big cheese in the royal court. That's why we're going to negotiate an alliance with him.
You summed that up nicely. But yes, that's how it is. He's the Royal Chamberlain. You fellas will never meet a more important noble than him.
I heard he insists on having the finest swords, and that he's got a big collection of all kinds of swords and daggers.
Collecting them ain't the same as knowing how to use them.
And is he any good at sword fighting? It ain't nothing easy to learn.
If I had to choose, I'd take a bow. After all, why not seize the opportunity to take down your foe before he gets near to you? Of course, the bow takes training too. Not everyone can hit their target at 50 paces.
And you can shoot something for your supper, like that first time we went hunting? The first time you ever held a bow? I'm surprised you didn't say a sword, since you never stopped going on about the sword Ishvan Toth stole from you.
That sword is the only reminder I had of Pa. We forged it together, just before he was slain. But that's another matter. I suppose you've heard enough of that, eh?
Well, you know.
Ah, it's all right.
Well, I wouldn't want to be in Ishvan's shoes if you ever come face to face with him again.
What? So Radzig ain't dead, though?
Enough, enough. Otherwise we'll be here for hours again hearing how Martin the Smith raised him even though Radzig is his real father. It's complicated, and let's leave it at that. No offense.
Who'll help me tomorrow with getting supplies for the journey back?
We rolled dice for it, and I won, so Conrad goes.
What are you on about?
Enough. Oats, you're no fun at all. There'll be a feast at the castle tomorrow, so forget about supplies.
Anyone for another helping? There's plenty left. Maybe even a bit for morning.
No thanks. I must wash myself down a bit.
My words exactly. We can't turn up at Trosky tomorrow in this state.
Let's go and strip, Henry. Fellas, come and help us get out of this armor.
Are you really going to bathe here, Sir Hans? It don't look none too safe a spot to me.
Oh, don't be such an old woman, Oats. Bring some wine to warm our blood.
Yeah, we're not on a trip to the baths here, Sir Hans.
Henry's right, sir. Duty first, fun later.
God's wounds. I haven't been away from Rattay in ages. So, here, I intend to live a little. Blasted iron shirt. Oh, what a relief. I feel like I've just shed 40 pounds.
Ah, Christ. Will I ever live to see his young lordship finally grow up? He's got a good heart, but he doesn't have the sense that he was born with.
Well, responsibility will catch up with him soon enough, though.
There's more chance of me becoming a monk.
That's a view fit for a king.
Whew. You were right about our stench.
Let's hope this water isn't too cold. You wouldn't want your pride and joy shrinking.
I'm more worried about it being too deep.
Come on.